Okay, let's go.
He wants to jump
1,000 cars. Sir, you have 1,000 cars.
I don't think I'd attempt to try this stunt.
Or we owe this horsepower to Uncle Sam.
Too many cars.
Car. Roses would be.
Like I put my beer belly on it.
If you can't immediately tell somebody how many cars you have,
you'll really give those uppity yuppies something to think about.
Stay on the bar. Don't go off the bar with your Bronco.
1980 Volvo horns, what's right?
Yeah.
I want a man's coolant.
And he's like, oh, I thought it'd be small. It's for a small car. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still an automatic transmission. They're never going to be light.
It's definitely going to have to crash.
Starting off with Brad buying another car.
That's the West. Internet.
You know, is this a Nigerian oil print?
I also wish you drove a tan Camry.
Anyways,
Anyway,
that's a
horrible,
very
horrible podcast content.
very
Talking about a picture.
inside joke.
It loves to be driven hard.
All right. Hello, Brad. Happy Halloween, right?
It is almost Halloween. Halloween is tomorrow because today is Thursday, right?
It is, but when you hear this, it's going to be Halloween. And
happy Halloween.
We're not tricking you with a reposting of the Monster Truck episode. This is a new
should just do that.
episode. We should
cancel this episode right now.
Yeah.
We'll just tease an intro and then go right into a replay.
Yeah, cut it right in.
Anyway, Andrew, what's good and new in the world of automobile life?
I mean, we can get right into it. Project cars, I guess, right? I got these. I only have one project car haunting me right now, so I know you've got several. Are they
very
haunting you?
haunting.
Are they haunting other people?
I haven't touched. They're haunting me because I haven't touched them.
So, yeah, the Volvo. I mean, we're getting into. It was a year ago I pulled the engine out, so not bad. Considering it's like all the other stuff we've been doing, my dad and I. So we're making progress. I was talking about fixing the wiring. So we worked on it the other weekend. Maybe it was Saturday, Sunday. I don't remember now. So I worked on the front passenger side corner because there was a bunch of wire nets in there, and we figured it out.
It's definitely haunted you.
Yeah, those were haunting me. We figured it out. I got it all cleaned up. I get the alternator in. The harness was like slightly short, with the regulator mounted to the fender where it should go. So we actually just cut the harness open. It's only like 3 wires in there. Kind of spread it a little longer. There was a little bit of extra length in there, just the way the regulator wires were wrapped back. Reharnessed it, hooked it up to the alternator I finally got. I just took the one I bought off eBay. I took the pulley off that one because it didn't look that great. It looked kind of corroded and weird. And I bolted it onto the one I got from Rock Auto that didn't come with the pulley like it was supposed to. So that was cool. I had to buy 2 alternators to make one. But the alternator's in the car. It mounts up way better than the one that came with the car because it's actually slightly smaller and has plenty of play that we can tighten it, and the original belt fits on there just fine. So that's good. I'm really happy about that. I cleaned up a bunch of the wiring, and I connected the marker light that's down in the fender with the marker light that's just forward of it that also is the turn signal. And then there's a marker light in the grill that after I wrapped up the whole thing, it was getting late in the day, I was getting tired, ready to go, I completely forgot to wire that in. So I'm going to have to unwrap a couple spots and wire in the marker light that's in the grill.
Well, this is the curse of trying to finish a car just before the month of November. This is why all of the vehicles at SEMA talk about Bluetooth drive shafts and Bluetooth wiring harnesses. So you're just trying to fit in with everybody else who's making their car look ready at SEMA this week.
Yeah, definitely not a SEMA car, but I mean, maybe it's probably built better than a lot of the SEMA cars. So
that's the exact point I'm making right there. Yeah, basically. having been to SEMA and seeing some of those cars, yeah, you'd fit right in there. And I'm
Yeah.
sure there is some angle where some garage is looking for, some shop company is looking for a a beater project to show their grassroots beginnings. But nonetheless, that's the curse of getting your car not done in time, having parts missing.
So now the next time I go to touch it, which hopefully should be this weekend, I might fix that. I don't know if I feel like undoing the progress I made. I might just leave it for the moment and
Well, the
move
good news
on.
is it has multiple turn signals, so
It
it's not like you're out of turn signals.
The turn signal will work. It has multiple marker lights. Like I technically don't need the one on the grill. Like I'm not super concerned about it. So I might just leave that be just to continue the progress and move to the other corner, the driver's side front corner, and fix over there. So that because I can come back and I can fix the marker bulb later when the car is running. Like it's not a big deal.
Except if you don't fix it now, it will annoy you later.
It will.
Maybe you should fix it now.
It will haunt me until I fix it.
Yeah. Every time that you
Andrew.
have a future Andrew problem is always a current Andrew annoyance.
Yeah.
So I'd probably just say, you know how to fix it, just get in there and fix it quick.
Yeah, I guess. But so that's what I got going on there. Hopefully we get. I think I kind of want. I do think that like legit. I think I might skip fixing that for now and move to the other side because,
Okay.
well, if I fix the other side and then we get the fuse panel in that I want and stuff, that's one step closer to starting it. I'd really like to get it started and running, and just I think it should be fine. But I don't think I'll be doing a lot of driving because we're getting into November. But it would be nice to hear it run and know it's good to go. So that in the spring we're ready to hit the road with it.
Just imagine, if you will,
Yeah.
April, end of March, roads are clear. You're all ready to drive the car for the first time. Go out, you turn the car on, you turn on the lights, and you're missing one marker light. You will be so
I'll
mad,
fix it.
because all you want to do is drive the car, fix the light. Listen to me, the guy who obviously follows through and finishes every project he ever starts.
Yeah. All the
This
ghosts of
this is
project
a lie.
cars.
This is a lie, but do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. Brad, fix us.
Yeah, really lean into the Halloween theme here. I like it. Oh, anyway, yeah, no, I'm excited for you to be that much closer to having the car done. I genuinely cannot wait to hear it kick over, even if your first drive is just out into a snow-covered driveway and back into the garage. At least it will have kicked over and be ready for spring. So I am excited to see that.
Yeah, should be a good car. But I don't know. What else? What else you've done? Well, I don't think you had any project cars because you had a big event, right? Do you want to talk about the big event?
I guess that's where we're at right now. So, project cars, you are correct. I don't have anything. I talked last week about sending the Eclipse off to have work done by somebody else. Jordan did take care of that for me. He put that AC compressor in, and I got it back the night before the rally. So that was good. It had nice cold air conditioning, and the noise that it was making that almost sounded like a scary bottom end noise was the alternator. Excuse me, not alternator, the AC compressor. So that's good. So it was not a devastating, another blown up car in my yard. I thought it probably was, but I wasn't 100% sure until we took it apart and fixed it. Because when I last drove the car, it didn't make the noise. Naomi's brother borrowed the car for a day when his car was down, and it came back making that noise. And I was like, oh, that would suck. But maybe that alternator again. Maybe that AC compressor pulley is just making more noise, and something in the clutch is rattling around, and hopefully it is, and that is definitely what it is. So that's good. So that's all taken care of. AC blows nice and cold. Everything works. No belt squeaks. The whole thing's pretty good. So no complaints there. This past Saturday, was, as I have talked about on the show a few times leading up to it, the Arizona Rising Sun Rally Edition 2. And it was, for lack of a better word, perfect. It went really well. I have no complaints. And if you are not here for year number 3, Andrew, podcast over. So you're gonna
Yeah,
have to
I
fly
had
out
some
and
FOMO.
support this event. Yeah, you're gonna have to fly out and support this event. It was a really good time, and I can only imagine next year is going to be even better. So the event is the word rally. A few of our listeners and Discord members I know disapprove of me using the word rally because it's not a stage rally, but it could also mean just a group drive, and that's what this is. It is in the same vein as a lot of the higher end West Coast rallies, stuff that you see happening in California or some stuff in Utah, some stuff in I guess there's some stuff in the East Coast where people pay thousands of dollars to drive their car in a group with other people. So it's that minus the dollar figures. So we run this thing really tight and really close to budget so that people who are participating can afford to do this. We're not looking to have supercar people. We're looking to have a good mix of like minded people, which basically means people who are like us, who are, you know, normal, not rich, elite class people. Um, the event this year cost $90. $90 got you all of our prep work, our route planning, breakfast with coffee, a t shirt, a bound route book, a goodie bag from all of our sponsors, a handmade sandwich by Naomi in the middle of the day lunch stop. Also, my co-organizer Tim and our helper Lane, their wives also helped with the sandwich making process the night before the rallies. That was cool for the lunch stop. And at the end of the day, it gets a dinner at a local restaurant and a small little ceremony with a couple of like superlative kind of awards. No awards because there's no actual like winning the event, but it's a couple superlative awards that we give at the end. So I don't think actually, and this year we also included a poster in that as well. So I think $90 is a pretty good deal. With that $90 and a couple of sponsors, we're able to pretty much break even. So that's all we're looking to do. We're not looking to make a business out of this deal. It's just to have a good time and get like-minded people together. This was the second year. Um, each year so far, we have capped it at 25 cars because we want to keep it manageable. We don't want to have too many people because too many people becomes logistically harder as far as places that will host us for a start, lunch, and finish line. Also, the more people you have, the more chances of there being somebody who's not of the same mindset and causing problems. And we don't want that either. Obviously, it's a public event, that you sign up for. So we're not, we could technically get somebody that we don't want in there, but with less people, there's less of a chance of that. Kind of how we look at it. We might expand it to a few more cars next year, but it wouldn't be more than 30, 35 probably. So we had 25 sign up. We had a couple of alternates that signed up that were waiting that we did allow to come in. I think our total car count was 28. So 28 cars, and there were something like 56 or 59 people, which was turns out a perfect number. So there was everything from so that the rules of the event are pre 2005, so 20 years old or older, Japanese car or vehicle manufactured by a Japanese company, even if it's sold under an American nameplate. Like if you came in there with an Eagle Talon, we'd allow you to run because it's basically a Mitsubishi Eclipse. So it has to be a Japanese car that's 20 years old or older. We had everything from our oldest car this year was a 1970 Mazda 1800 sedan, which is a Very rare car that most people probably wouldn't recognize. It looks Italian because it was designed by an Italian design house. Very cool car. And everything from that car to we had a Mark IV Supra, like a big turbo, super high horsepower Mark IV Supra, and some early 2000s S2000s. So we had everything from 1970 to I think 2003 with a ton of stuff in between. It's cool to get them out on the road and get them all together, and it's like kind of like a cars and coffee, but with destinations in between, or the cars and coffee destination with driving together in between. And we sent the cars off in groups of 5 or 6, so they'd have could drive with their friends, but have a separate route from everybody else. It wasn't just one long line of cars going down the road. That allowed people to kind of go at their own pace. Obviously, it's on public roads, so we encourage to drive the speed limit, but you know, you're welcome to do whatever you want at your own risk. So if you have a faster car, we sent those out first. We had a pretty incident-free event, so that's good. Had a couple of minor, you know, car repair issues in the side of the road a couple of times, but overall, an amazing success. We encourage people this time to go out and stop along the way, see it pull off with a nice overlook, stop and take pictures. It's not a race, there's no hurry, just enjoy your day, enjoy the weather. It was a perfect, like, 75 to 80 degrees all day with no humidity. It's been raining here in Arizona so much lately that the entire desert is green. All the mountains just looked not like their normal brown. Everything was just covered in vegetation. Um, One person said they came around a corner and they were like, "Man, it looks like I'm driving into Narnia here. What's happening?" One person likened it to driving through Jurassic Park. It was so green compared to what we're used to here. It was just, it couldn't have been better. Um, we had a few of the sponsors show up and drive in the event too, so we'll always allow that. That's part of the sponsorship package. You get a entry and a dinner in the event, so that was super cool. I can't say enough about everybody who participated and how smoothly they all made it go, because for the past couple of months it's been nothing but rally planning and it's been stressful, and for just to see it kind of go off and not have any major issues is just completely satisfying. And to see people just happy and enjoying the day and thanking us for putting this event together is huge. That's kind of why we do it. We want to have other people enjoy it. So I need to just step back and and think about how to improve it next year without going too far, because we don't want to change the overall feel of the event. We don't want to make it too fancy. We don't want to make it too much different. We want to keep the same kind of vibe and change the route every year is the plan to keep it fresh, which is both good and bad. It's good because it keeps it fresh. It's bad because it means we need to find a start, middle, and finish point new every year. And this year's finish point was amazing. It's this restaurant in Apache Junction, Arizona, called the Handlebar. It's a bicycle themed restaurant, but they just had
Hmm.
great food. They were able to, feed our entire party. They had a whole roped off section outside for us, and I'd love to end there every year if it were possible, but it's not. So, um, yeah, it was a killer time. You're welcome to look up all the pictures on Instagram. The Instagram account is AZ Rising Sun Rally. Rally spelled with an E on the end, RALLYE. Or people are posting pictures from this year's event under the hashtag AZRSR25. So both of those things will show you plenty of pictures of what's been going on, some videos. Um, yeah, it was amazing. We were a little nervous leading up to it because it went through the town of Globe, Arizona, which I'm sure I know it made national news when they got some flooding a few weeks back, where the entire town was underwater. So thankfully, most of that was cleaned up. The route we were using, you could see in like the main streets downtown, the flood debris like wrapped around stoplights and telephone poles, which was scary to see, but thankfully it was all cleaned up. There was one section of road that is still closed because it washed out, and they have it down to one lane. So they have it like the cop stands there and lets a whole line of cars go one way, and then the whole line of cars go the other way. And the detour for that, if you didn't want to do that, was actually part of our route, which made us a little bit nervous that there'd be a ton of traffic on the route that shouldn't normally be there. But it turned out to not be the case. So there wasn't much traffic all day. Like everything just you can't you can't plan for weather. You can't plan for that kind of stuff. But it's almost like we did because it worked out perfectly. And I don't mean to sit here and just pat myself on the back, but at this point, I'm just so relieved that it went off the way it went off and everything went good. So the superlative awards at the end, we had a few awards. We had three basically, and it was oldest car, longest distance traveled to get to the event, and the hard luck award. So the oldest car was that 1970 Mazda 1800. The longest distance traveled was 250 miles to get to the event. So, and then the hard luck award went to that particular Supra because he was the only person all day to get pulled over. So, and what really stinks is he was not 3 miles from the end of the route to get to the restaurant when he got pulled over. So he was back in town, off the fun roads, just on like the commute to the restaurant, and he got pulled over. So that stinks, but I guess unfortunately that's part of what happens when you drive on public roads, right? And I joked when I gave him the award because he drives a Mark IV Super that's covered in like the top secret stickers, like the Japanese tuning house. And I was like, they probably pulled you over because you're driving a fully lettered up race car. And he goes, yeah, cop said that actually. So that
Oops.
stinks. But yep, whoops is right. But yeah, no, it was a killer time, Andrew. I can't I I can't wait for next year, but also I don't want to do it again. But I'm gonna do it again. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end. And uh, again, my friend Tim, who I run the event with, I can't thank him enough for helping me to put this together and kind of encouraging us to get off the ground last year and do it. And Mike, who did it with us last year, was wonderful, but unfortunately, he's currently living in Japan, so he couldn't help us this year. But we found Lane, which if you follow him on Instagram, he is fast underscore lane underscore photo. Lane spelled Lane, like his name. Um, he did all of our artwork this year. So our t-shirt design, a totally separate design for the poster, a couple other stickers he did. He went above and beyond and made some cool stuff. We do have extra posters. If anybody wants one, reach out and I can find a way to get it to you. Um, there'll be pictures of them on the Instagram account. And I'm sure once people have hung them in their garage spaces, there'll be pictures of them there. I know I'll hang mine this week probably, hopefully this weekend. No extra t-shirts, but we're thinking of making a second run of shirts because some people have asked us for shirts. So unfortunately, this year, Andrew, I don't have an extra one for you, but we might. So we'll see.
What was the one you gave me?
That was last year.
Oh, just last year. All right.
That was last year's event. Well, I gave it to you last year, so that's why it was last year's event. This year's T-shirt is a blue T-shirt with a full color print on the back. So the one you have is last year's shirt, which last year's shirt was also super cool, and this year's shirt is also super cool. So if we do another run, you'll get one. But until then, sorry, I'll get you a poster so you can hang it in your garage. But no, it was the event is really good. And like I said, Andrew, you need to find a way to get out here for next year's event because it's a good time. So obviously, I want to thank everybody that was involved. Like I said, anybody who came. I want to thank Naomi, Tim's wife Jill, Lane's wife Angela. Like they helped out a ton as well on the day of and the leading up to it. Um, Lane's buddy Matt helped with photos, and Chris Angry Bird GTI help me out with organizing cars in the morning leaving, and helped me with cars leaving from the lunch stop. So all those people were hugely instrumental in making this event what it was, and I can't thank them enough. So anyway, that's my wrap up of the event. But um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It was just a good time. Like my favorite car of the event, there was a Mitsubishi Mirage, but it was a Japanese imported. I think they call it a Mirage Asti VX or RX. It's basically like one step below an Evo, but a Mirage. Because the Mirage chassis is the Evo chassis in the 1 through 6 generation. It was the Lancer or Mirage, depending on market. So that was probably my favorite car. There's a bunch of JDM stuff, a bunch of US Japanese cars, and it was probably a good mix of like 50% 90s and newer and 50% chrome bumper stuff.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's a cool mix. I can't. It's exactly what we like in cars. Like I know that I've kind of curated the event to be that, but that's what it became, and I everything from RX2 to that 1800. There was an RX4. There was a first gen Celica and first gen RX7 and a couple of third gen RX7s, and I, Ron brought out one of his Preludes, and I don't know. It was a cool mix of stuff, and I can't wait till next year, basically. So book your plane ticket now, Andrew. It'll
Yeah.
probably be the same weekend, which I think the Saturday next year is the 23rd of October. So that's hopefully the plan.
Where'd you start the rally? Wasn't it at one of those big cars and coffees, or?
So sort of, kind of. It wasn't a big Cars and Coffee. It was there's an automotive event space here in town. I'm not 100% clear on its mission statement, but I know they're an automotive event space. It's called the Warehouse, and they hosted our morning launch. But they also, at the same time, were hosting. It's like I don't know if I call it a streetwear brand. I guess it kind of is a streetwear brand. It's called Last Era. They're like motorsports T-shirts. Um, it's not exactly the same vibe as the event, but it worked out pretty well because it got us a lot more exposure as to what we were as well. Um, but she graciously donated. The person who owns the warehouse did graciously donate the breakfast and coffee this year, so that helped us financially a ton. There was free pastries and canned cold brew from one of the local cold brew makers. It's a place here called Shift Caffeine. They're like automotive motorcycle themed cold brew in cans. So they had that was there, plus the pastries were provided by the warehouse. So I should thank them for that. So that was super cool. The midday, so yeah, their particular show was indoors, and they had their overflow parking, sharing the parking lot with us, which was fine. Worked out fine. I was a little nervous because of space, but it worked out. But their indoor car show was a little bit more. It was a higher end, like supercar crowd inside. There were Lamborghinis and Ferraris and 911s and that kind of stuff. Um, our lunch stop was. I don't know if you've been by there. I assume you probably have at some point, Andrew. The Roosevelt Lake. They have the Roosevelt Bridge and the Roosevelt Dam.
No, I was wondering what those were. I
They're
didn't recognize those at all from Arizona.
Big Blue Bridge.
Nope, never
Yeah.
been there.
Okay. Super cool spot. It's like one of the prettiest like architectural bridges in the entire state, and it spans over there at Roosevelt Lake. The There's a dam right there that has like a public park with a couple of pergolas and like the well toilets and a pretty big parking lot that's usually not very well utilized. So we didn't officially have that spot, but that's the spot we set up for lunch, and thankfully it worked out perfect for us. There was nobody really there. A couple cars at a time would come roll through, so we took over the whole parking lot. Naomi had set up tables with the sandwiches all set up, mostly pre-made, but not with like lettuce, tomato, and condiments. So you can put your own lettuce, tomato, and condiments on your sandwich. But she had like turkey and ham and roast beef sandwiches all right there to go. Uh, Chips and water and a little hand wash station because the well toilets don't have sinks. So she's like, I don't want people to like stop there and use the bathroom and eat sandwiches. So she brought a little hand washing station, and she did what she does, and she overdid it, which is what we love about Naomi. But she did it perfectly, and everybody loved it. And it was just like everything else on the day. It just worked out amazingly. So she got to set up everything out of her back of her Maverick. So you use that for doing truck stuff. Had it all loaded up with all the food and ice and coolers. Um, yeah, so the lunch stop was there. Big photo op there too because of how pretty it is around there. It's basically, Andrew. I don't know if you heard of the Apache Trail here in Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
it sounds
was it's
familiar.
partially paved, partially dirt. It was closed for years because they had a big storm in maybe 2017 or so, 2018 maybe. It was just before I moved here. I know that it was closed, and it just reopened probably 6 months ago. So the park that we were at has always been open because it's access to the dam, which obviously SRP and the state of Arizona need access to for maintaining the dam. But the whole main road the whole way through was not open until recently. I would not send the rally cars down it because they're not quote unquote actual rally cars, and most of the Apache Trail is not paved. So the Apache Trail connects Roosevelt Lake area to Tortilla Flats. I don't know if you've been out there since you've
Yeah.
been in Arizona. Maybe not. You've been
I have.
there, right? Okay. So it connects Tortilla Flats to Roosevelt Lake. It's like I wouldn't call it a shortcut, but it's shorter than going the long way around. But it's usually reserved for high clearance vehicles. I have run it in the Ram 50. So um, so that's where the lunch stop was, and like I said, cool photo ops there. I think my favorite picture I've seen so far is a picture that Aaron from the AZ Vintage Japanese Car Club took, which is not really a car club; it's just an Instagram page, and he organizes small events. But it's looking down the road back towards the bridge, and you can see the lake in the background, and it almost looks like it's like Oceanside in California,
Yeah.
the way it's so super blue back there. But super cool backdrop, and it has some really cool pictures that have not been posted yet. That couple different people have taken of the rally cars coming over that bridge, which is super cool. So yeah, the T-shirt design, if you see it, Andrew, the bridge is prominently featured on the T-shirt too. Because when I told Lane, who designed our shirts, I was like, "Hey man, I think I want to like try to feature that bridge in there somewhere," and he was like super stoked on it. He's like, "That's my favorite like architectural thing in the entire state. I will 100% do that. This is my dream to design this shirt." So
Hmm.
it's pretty cool. You're probably familiar with Lane's artwork, and you don't know it because Lane draws the pictures that you see on the side of U-Haul trucks.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that's his day job.
Hmm.
Yeah. Which is how I kind of found out about it because he did the side of the U-Haul truck they have here for the Copper State 1000, which is that like high end rally that costs $12,000 to enter. Um, he did the art for that truck, and he has a mutual friend who is also into old Japanese cars that he knows through actually Hot Wheels collecting, who I know through old Japanese cars. So he kind of made that whole connection together and hooked up with him, and it worked out really well because turns out he's a super cool dude, and he has good eye, and he he nailed it. And I think half of the success of this event is based on the aesthetics of everything we did and put together because it makes it feel like cohesive and professional, right? So can't thank him enough. But yeah, that was the lunch stop. It was about give or take 100 miles each leg. So the morning stop was 100. The morning leg was 100 miles, and the afternoon leg was 100 miles.
Mm-hmm.
200 miles doesn't sound like much, but we're not talking 200 miles of interstate. It's 200 miles of like
Yeah.
windy back roads.
Exactly.
So it's a solid like 4.5 hours of driving.
Sure.
I think the first car took off at 9 a.m. and got to the final restaurant probably about 5:30, with all the stops and the lunch and all that stuff. So it's a full day. I'd love to do more miles, but I think that for the enjoyment factor, I think 200 is probably a pretty good 1 day number. If I wanted to do more miles, I'd probably have to figure out a multi-day setup. But yeah, no, just I know I've said it 1,000 times to start talking about it, but I just like last year, I couldn't have been happier with how the event turned out. And it's the kind of thing where you sit back after the whole event's over and you've gotten feedback from everybody, and anybody who's complained, they're not complaining about anything of any significance. It's always something minor, and everybody's happy and had a great time. And it's just like, I did that. How do we do this? How do we pull this off? I didn't do that. This event went way too well. It couldn't have been my doing. But no, everybody is super stoked for next year too, which is huge. There was also the same day was the uh, Haggerty Drivers Club event,
Yeah.
um, and I know the person who runs that. It's my friend Michael. So we were in communication before the event started to make sure that he wasn't going to be bringing his guys anywhere near where our cars were going to be going because it just happened to be the same day.
Yeah.
And it was starting from his shop, which is in Fountain Hills, which is in the same general area. And the first kind of like fun roads that he could have gotten to were the same roads that we were using for our rally. So he had planned a different stop for their event was like half the distance, and he was going to go out to basically where our lunch stop was and end the event there, and people could go home from there. But they wound up having a pretty small turnout, unfortunately. So he just crashed our event, which was fine because we had enough room for the three other cars. Um, so he just kind of came in and came to our lunch stop. He didn't crash the rest of the event, but he brought along employees of Haggerty who saw our entire event. So they were pretty
Hmm.
stoked on seeing what we were doing out there. So it's funny because I had been in talks with them about a potential sponsorship, and then it fell through because it happened to be the same day as their National Haggerty Drivers Club Day, which is what the same day was. And they couldn't host two driving events in the same day. So we'll see what happens next year, but that could be a huge influx of cash for us. And, we're not making a profit here. We'll pass that savings back along to the
Mm-hmm.
participants. So give them more stuff. But yeah, it was a yeah, success. That's all I have to say. The Eclipse ran great, no complaints. Ran the nice fresh air conditioning on the kind of transity stage in the beginning and end, and had windows down the whole rest of the way. So got like just shy of 30 miles per gallon too, which is wild. So worked out well.
Cool.
Crossed I think 5,000 feet of elevation, 5,500 feet of elevation, which is probably why I got good gas mileage because coming down the hill on the other side.
Probably.
So, yeah, good good day. Good day. I set out to build an event that would encourage people to just hang out and drive their cars, and that's what we have accomplished. So
Yeah.
next year is coming.
Yeah. Reminds me I need to work on our uh, listener version that we have here for.
I kind of want to do one of those out here too. It's not. It's a lot different of a feel. The forenoon cup we started talking about
Yeah,
before.
it's a few hours in the morning.
Just
That's all it has to be.
yeah, a few friends going out for a couple hour drive.
Yeah.
And I am down to do that again here too. So you get like 3 weeks left. You can do one.
You
Make it work.
know, it's really it's that Volvo that's been haunting me all season. I wanted to finish that for one of them, and I just never did it. So
Is that why you didn't do one last year too? Because you were anticipating the Volvo coming?
sure. No, I'm gonna work on that. I promise. It's
It
recorded.
is what it is. Yeah, it's
All right.
on the record.
Uh,
Yeah,
other-
that's where I'm at.
all right. Other things going on in Phoenix? NASCAR Championship.
NASCAR Championship this weekend. Yeah,
You said you're not going
we
because you
are.
want to work on some project cars, which is fine.
I'm not going. Correct. I thought about going. Thought about getting some last minute tickets. Um, I just with everything that's been going on with that the Rising Sun rally, I am way farther behind than I want to be on things. And I know next weekend already has a bunch of stuff going on. So this weekend is gonna be like a pretty good time to get stuff done. I gotta pull the engineless Corolla out of the garage, throw a cover over it, and put it in the corner. Put the Mercor in its spot and do a bunch of things to that so I can actually finally put that thing for sale. And also, I need to roll the 944 in the garage so I can do the timing belt, which I have all the parts sitting in the garage on the toolbox awaiting my time to do it. So I should be able to knock those things out. And I have to knock out the fender and bumper install on the truck. So there's no shortage of things that need to be done. and I don't want to touch that white Starion that I bought until I've finished all that stuff. So that's kind of my
No,
motivation here.
no Starion dessert until you eat your other project cars.
It's exactly. That's 100% what it is, because I know that's what's going to happen. The second I start working on Starion, everything else will just fall to the wayside. So, and I made myself a goal that the Starion needs to be 100% ready by the Rising Sun Rally next year.
All right.
So,
Yeah, I need something to drive. So
you'll have plenty to drive because the Eclipse will be here, the Corolla will be done, the tires will be replaced on the Cressida by then, and hopefully the Sapporo will be out of the garage. So,
as much fun as it would be to ship a car, it's not worth it when you've got 10 cars that I could
yeah,
drive.
I would say for this particular event being a 1 day event, that's not exactly a demanding like super racetrack event. I would say just use one of my cars is fine. If you were to ship out a car here, you would need to leave it here and do a bunch of events with it. So we need to time it so that you could do, fly back and forth maybe and do like the Williams event and my event and maybe get out the JTCS or just kind of do a West Coast tour. But that's a pipe dream, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We're down to the final race, the final four. We've got Chase Briscoe, Hamlin,
Mm-hmm.
Larson, Byron.
Very nice.
So which
Yep.
is they iced out Penske, which is interesting.
It is. So 2 Toyotas and 2 Chevys, right?
2 Toyotas, 2 Chevys. So I mean, who you got?
I have Larson and Byron crashing into each other in the pits and breaking toe links.
Okay.
That's my hope. Probably isn't going to happen, but that's my hope. Um, I wouldn't be upset if anybody won that wasn't Larson. And next up would be Byron. Um, I don't really have a preference of Hamlin or uh, the other guy.
Briscoe?
I don't know why. Yeah, Briscoe. Thank you. I don't know why his name just escaped my head. I would like to see Hamlin get a championship. He's been chasing that for some time. He just passed into the top 10 all-time win list this season.
Yeah, with no
So if
championship.
anybody
It's wild.
if anybody deserves one, it's him. Um, Byron doesn't have one, but the 24 car has tons. Larson already has one. And Briscoe doesn't have one either, but the 19 car I think already has one too with Truex, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'd basically take
So
anyone but Larson and Byron. just, just for,
anyone but Larson, second Byron, just because I don't want a Hendrick car to win.
yeah, I'll take the
Um,
JGR teams. Like,
I don't want a JGR car to win either, but I guess I don't have a choice.
yeah.
Um,
Well, somebody else could win the race, which is a possibility, as Ross
that would
Chastain
be
proved 2 years
ideal.
ago.
Yeah, that would be ideal to have a driver we like win the race
Yeah,
and
Bubba
let these
Wallace win the
guys
race
figure out the
would be awesome.
championship. These guys, the 4 champion cars, figure out the championship by finishing 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. That would be ideal. It would be ridiculous, and I would laugh tremendously, but that would be ideal. I doubt that will happen because it does seem like the championship cars in the championship are there for a reason, and they usually wind up running pretty close to the front of the field. Um, I also think there's a little bit of gamesmanship that gets played where, if you're a team car of one of the champion cars, you might, be a little less aggressive around it and let them kind of stay up front a little bit.
Well, yeah.
There's a little bit of that going on. Not all the time, because again, we did watch Chastain win the race and tick off a bunch of people, but it's like, man,
Well,
he's still trying to win the race. You're
you
not going to give it
know,
up.
Ty Gibbs might just crash into Briscoe and Hamlin, so we'll see.
This is a valid point. Well, what they'll do is they'll have Ty Gibbs behind them in another Toyota. Ty Gibbs is Toyota, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
it's all JGR.
yeah, yes, yeah. So I'll have him trying to to bump draft with them, but he's a terrible bump drafter and he'll spin them into the wall,
Yeah.
which is bad because that gives it to Larson or Byron. So I guess we'll see what happens. Last week's race was interesting with the JGR cars because 2 out of 3 of them blew up,
Yeah.
and I have a theory on that.
You're not the only one. Some people have a theory that they were running, trying to figure out how
Some
much power they get out of the
experimental
engine.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened, and I haven't seen that anywhere else, so I'm going to claim it as my thought. But I had that thought watching the race because they were already locked in the championship, and they were just seeing if they could eke out a couple more horsepower, and then turns out they could
Nope.
not.
Dial it back.
Because normally, whenever Hamlin's car is a DNF for a mechanical, he is the world's most angry driver.
Yeah.
And his car blew up, and he didn't say a thing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like he knew.
Yeah.
So
Briscoe's blew up pretty
I'm
early.
glad. Yes, it blew up very early, and then his blew up like a stage later. So, and then watching the other JGR cars, they had no issues at all,
Yeah.
even though you were worried about it for them. But they were also trying to get into the championships. They would not have done anything experimental with their cars. Is kind of my thought process on that. So.
Mhm.
Whatever. It is what it is. I mean, obviously, whatever it was legal because they weren't fined for it, and nobody went in there and said anything. So glad they figured it out last week, though. But
Exactly.
yeah, I'm excited. It should be a good race. I genuinely enjoy the Phoenix race. I like how that turn 1 is just a disaster every
Mhm.
time. Like there's no track limits and the cars fan out like 8 lanes wide. Um, that's kind of fun to watch. But usually puts on a half decent race, and they got a pretty good tire compound, I think, this year set up. So there'll be some pretty good tire wear stuff going on, and should be a good time. I'll watch it while I wrench.
Yep. And then I'll actually be kind of sad because there won't be any NASCAR, and actually IMSA's over. Yeah, pretty much racing season's over.
Yeah, racing season ends with NASCAR pretty much. I
Yep.
think there's some F1 and stuff going on, but we don't care about that. But we did also just buy tickets for next year's San Diego race.
That's right. Yeah. So we're gonna
So
go to the race at the naval base in Coronado. It's a road course. I can't believe it. It's a 3.5 mile road course, which is huge.
it's super, super cool. That's like a European style racetrack. I love it.
Uh, we got some grandstands that look out onto San Diego Bay and overlook. One side is one of the chicanes, the other side is a left-hander. So hopefully there's some good passing in there. I hopefully picked a good spot. Nobody knows. Nobody's ever watched a race there. So,
Yeah, there's never been a race there before. I'm surprised they're even letting it happen. So I'm super excited about it.
well, they lost Chicago, so they wanted to do another street course, quote unquote. And
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they're letting it happen there. It just seems like I've been there before. It's very fancy. Have you been? I'm sure most of it's on the base itself, but the area around the base is like incredibly high rent. Um, one of Naomi's annual bike rides that she tries to do every year, I've done with her. It's
yeah,
a bike called Bike the Bay, and you ride your bike up and over the Coronado Bridge, which is impossible, and then down the other side, which is fun, and then you ride around the Coronado Island, and it's a very fancy place. So
the other day I told Marco we were going there. I was like, we're going to San Diego. And he's like, what is that?
a whale's vagina. Oh, you didn't see that movie yet, I'm sure. Yeah.
I was like, it's San Diego, but I was like, it's a city in California.
Yep. Well, did he even know the city when he said it correctly?
He acted like he did.
Okay. I don't feel like kindergarten is where you learn other cities and other states yet. So
But he's like, I want to go to NASCAR. I was like, well, we got a few months. So
yeah, a long time because that's not until
June.
July, right?
No,
June.
mid-June.
Okay.
It's after Father's Day weekend, or it is Father's Day weekend. It's right around that time. So yeah, that's what we'll be.
Either way, I'm excited for it. I've never been to a NASCAR road course race, so
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I've gone
stoked.
twice now to Watkins Glen. That was cool. But that's a permanent course. I'll be interested to see a street course. I should have went to Chicago because it's not that far from here. But oh well.
Missed the opportunity.
Yep.
Well, this just works out well because you have family out here and I'm out here, and it'll just work out for everybody to kind of get together and go there because we're also going with a bunch of your family and our family. So
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah.
My father-in-law is from San Diego. He's a big NASCAR fan, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. Naomi is not a big NASCAR fan, but that is also where she is from. So
I think seeing it in person. Oh no, she saw it like Phoenix, I guess. But
oh no, she's not. I'm not saying she's not a fan. She doesn't not enjoy it. She enjoys it.
yeah,
She's just not a super fan like your father-in-law is.
yeah.
She sits and watches the races with me almost every weekend. Whether she actually fully enjoys it or just enjoys it because I enjoy it is up for debate. But that doesn't matter because she enjoys it enough to sit there and watch it with me. So she'll have a good time. And yeah, she's been to the Phoenix race with me. So she enjoys it a lot more now that she's watched it a lot more and she's
Once,
learned a
yeah,
lot of the nuance.
yeah. Once you
So
understand what's going on, it's like anything. It makes
yeah,
more
that
sense.
helps a lot.
And you
Oh, it's
search
not just
another
guys going
drivers.
around in a circle.
Yeah,
So
and who's a
she
heel and
knows
who's
that
not.
you have to actively root against Kyle Larson. So, and unlike your father-in-law, we also root against Chase Elliott. That's beside the point. There should be some good ribbing that week with that one. Yeah, exactly. Milk toast, Elliott. Well, anyway, yeah. So that's it. That's our NASCAR report 2025. One more
NASCAR.
week of NASCAR news from us.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. I did some scale autocast stuff. I've been working on that drift chassis. It's all done. Working on the body for it. Got a 180 SX body. Just doing like a street car. Looks pretty good. I'll post some pictures up of it.
It was really good.
Paint up a Bronco body, a new Bronco body for the crawler, so I can actually get out and use that. That also looks really good.
It does.
I was practicing my game with painting these Lexian bodies. You know, it's interesting because you paint them in reverse. And the Bronco, I did two-tone because you need to paint the roof black. And I'm like shocked at how well it came out. But you know, when you start using like you get older and you can actually buy nice materials to prep with, it makes it easier to get good results. Like the
Sure.
I highly recommend the 40 millimeter Tamiya masking tape. That's what I used to do the masking. It worked really well. It covers a good amount for a 110 scale body. That's
I
also
use a
what I use.
combo of the 40 millimeter and the thin stuff for doing the edges.
Nope, 40 mil all the way around.
Okay.
There's enough straight lines I didn't have to make complex curves. I have thin curve stuff, but because the Bronco, it's really blocky, so that also
Sure.
helped. I also used it. I painted a Beetle body for my SCX 24 chassis, so it's like not really 24 scale. It's more like 28 scale.
Say it, no, it's no, other way around. It's more like 20th to 18th scale. It's bigger.
Oh yes, yep. So yeah, I wanted to do white on the door, like a Baja Beetle type with a top color. So I again used that same tape because it was a good line and it was a nice flat piece. It was easy to mask, and I did it pearl white. Well, first I painted the color coat, which is this purple something to my. It's a Tamiya purple stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but it's flip flops, purple to green. It's kind of a cool color.
That was a Tamiya paint.
That was a Tamiya color.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you paint it. It's pretty translucent, 3 or 4 coats, and then it says you have to back it over black. It actually says it on the can. So you back it with black. Well, yeah, I backed it with black, and then I peeled the masking, did my pearl white, and then backed it again with black. And it looks really good. I was like shocked at how good it came out. So
That's cool.
it like flip flops, yeah, purple, green, and light. And then I got some bigger tires and classic wagon wheel looking wheels for it to give it that real like 70s look. And it's just like a kind of like my version of a monster beetle on a little chassis.
Oh,
And,
it's really good.
yeah, I like it a lot better than the Proline Toyota body I got for it. And it'll actually make me want to use it more. And that one's not so scale, that chassis. I was like, I'll just use that as a, if I want
With
to
the
go to like,
Beetle body on there, it looks a lot more scale.
it does. And I was like, I can
Yeah.
now with the bigger tires, I could actually go do like an indoor. There are some places nearby that do indoor crawler comps. I was like, I could do a competition
It's
with it.
also big enough to use outdoors as well. It's not like an
I
Orlando,
can,
which
yeah.
is a little too small.
Yeah, the Orlando, I'm going to get back to that. That's purely just going to be a scale model, like a movable scale
It
model.
works.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not going to do any
Yep.
heavy
That's why I
off-roading.
kind of figure with
Just,
that as well.
just,
I'm building one of those as well, so I get that.
I just want it to look cool. But anyway, yeah.
Now they have a like a military truck
Yeah.
that's the same scale as their other ones, but it's slightly larger because it's a military truck.
Mm-hmm.
And it wheelbase out almost exactly to the correct scale of the model Ram 50 that I have,
Ooh.
and it has a leaf spring rear.
Ooh.
So that might be the next project.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I've been doing little videos too. I got to get them on the, I put some a while back onto the Scale Autocast YouTube channel, and there's a lot of people commenting on them. So I was like, all right, I'll put some videos up of this stuff that I'm doing because it's easy to do. It's right here on my desk. I don't have to
I
go
didn't
outside to a
even know
car
we
and
had
do
a
it.
Scale Autocadist YouTube channel.
We do. So
Interesting.
go check it out.
I'll have to.
Like and subscribe. Ring that bell.
Yeah, apparently.
So yeah, Brad, I think that's an
Excellent.
episode. Unless you got anything else.
I think so. That's a good mix of stuff. I got nothing else to talk about. Hopefully next week I'll have a bunch more because I got a bunch of plans. So
All right. Well,
time will tell.
I hope everybody gets I hope all their kids get a good amount of candy, and you can steal some candy from them. So
I hope all the kids in the neighborhood take all our candy so I don't have candy to eat because I have diabetes and don't eat any more candy in the house.
all right, cool. So follow us at the usual places. Scale Autocast is on Instagram. I was just talking about that. Been
On
putting
YouTube.
pictures up. It is on YouTube too. We do have a off topic YouTube, which I've been trying to do. I'm trying to collect some car videos to start putting on there too. Of just doing stuff on the Volvo too. Just casual things. How to's are a pain in the
Yeah,
butt to do. I've just been trying to do casual vlogging
yeah, I've
videos.
had a thought process of when I do finally pull the Starion inside and start working on that, I think I want to try to do some video
Yeah, you
content.
just keep it
And
real
again,
light.
not necessarily how to's, but just, what am I doing? How am I doing it? Kind of things as I go along.
Yeah.
So we shall see. I've been inspired by our friends over at Revival because they're Josh is doing that Mustang. And he's doing some pretty, 1,000-foot views of his restoration project of the Mustang. So a little
Hey,
inspired by that
we
video
also
going
have
on over
one.
there.
We did it first.
Oh, 100%. We existed before they did. So, no competition. We like those guys.
Yeah.
But I just been a little bit inspired by the way they're doing their content on that Mustang. Or I should say Josh is doing his content in the Mustang. It's a little bit more. It's not that like super technical into it thing. It's more like how you would read an article in a magazine in the past, right? So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, you can find me on the Instagram Scale Autocast. You can also find me on Instagram, my personal one at TSISS350. Currently, I'm posting at least one picture a day on the AZ Rising Sun Rally Instagram page as well. So you can see some content there. Pictures that either I took or Lane or his wife Angela took. They are tagged from whoever took it. So please show that page some love as well. That would be nice. We've gained a ton of followers since this event happened and trying to keep pictures flowing, right? So hopefully you can see some of that content as well.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Race and
That's it.
Anger, and podcast on Instagram. And yeah, as always, keep cars analog. Hopefully your project cars aren't haunting you. And aim for the roses.